Hello and welcome to today's Linux cast. Today we're going to be installing CentOS, sometimes called CentOS. CentOS is short for the Community Enterprise Operating System. It's a pretty simple install, but it can be kind of complicated to get going. So first thing you're going to do is go to CentOS.org. Click on the download button and then click on Mirrors. And then you're going to click on CentOS public mirror list, and then there's a list of places you can download from. I'm going to choose the first one, the Arctic Network Mirrors, and they host other operating systems. So then I'm going to go down to CentOS and choose HTTP, and then this is all the versions, so we're going to look for the latest version, which is right down here. It's 6.5. And then let's see here. We're going to click on ISOs. Here you'll see the 32-bit and the 64-bit. For newer computers, it'll be the 64-bit. Today I'm doing a virtual machine, so I'm going to grab the 32-bit. And what I'm looking for is livecd.iso. So I'm going to click on that and it'll download. Now I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to actually click on it, but yeah, that's where you're going to download it. I'm going to select New, and I'm going to call it CentOS, and it'll come up Linux and Red Hat. It's based off of Red Hat, so with Ubuntu it came up Ubuntu. CentOS it's coming up Red Hat, and that's just fine. And it looks like I already have a file for that, so I'm going to call it CentOS1. And I'm going to give it, of course, just north of 3 gigs of RAM. And I'm going to create a new hard drive for it. And, of course, I always do fixed size. Give it just north of 10 gigs. That's going to create real quick. Okay, and when I start it, should ask me for what disk I want to put in there. It'll say automatic boot in 10 seconds. You can let it automatically boot, or if you press enter, it'll give you options. So I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to use my arrow keys and go down to install and press enter. Okay. And then it'll come up with the installer. And I'm going to click next. The first screen is just a basic hello. I'm going to choose my language is English, and my keyboard is US English. And it'll give you two different options for kind of storage devices. Most of the time you're just going to do a basic storage device unless it's going onto a very special server. And if it's going onto a special server, you're probably not watching this video right now. And we're going to discard any data that might be on this blank hard drive, and I'm going to call my host name CentOS1. And host name is basically how it shows up on the network. And choose my location. I'm in America, and I am in Phoenix. And now, CentOS is a little different than Ubuntu in the sense that you can have a separate root password instead of using your just login password to become root. I recommend having a separate password when you're entering here. This will not be a regular login password. And I'm going to use all the space on this hard disk. And then I'm going to click Write Changes to Disk. And then it'll start the install process. This will take several minutes to complete. When it's done, it'll do its post-installation. That just takes a few minutes, and when it's done, it'll ask you to reboot. Okay, so when we reboot, it's going to bring you to this welcome screen. They just need to get some more information, then we'll be ready to use your desktop. So the first screen is just a welcome, and click forward. And then it's going to give you some license information, and you can just click forward, but you do have to agree to it. And then now you're going to pick your username, and I'm going to choose my name. And I'm going to create myself a login password, and this should be different than the root password I selected earlier. Okay, and then forward. I'm going to choose the date and time. And yep, that looks right. It's December 17th, and it's about 11:03, so that'll do. And then it's going to ask you about kdump. If your computer will support this by default, you should definitely use it. If you don't have a lot of RAM, it's not going to let you turn it on. But if anything ever happens to the system, the kdump will store a lot of log files for you to help you recover. And then there we go. It'll take you right to the login screen, and you can see there it'll say the version. It'll have your username, and I'm going to click on my username, type in my password, and there we go. I am on the desktop. And I'm just going to make sure that my internet's working. I can check up here and see the two little computers, and it looks like it's happy. We're going to open Firefox. And it'll open a tab with some information about CentOS. But we're going to make sure that the internet's working. We're going to go to our website, linuxcast.net. And there we go. The internet's working. You can explore the desktop a little bit, but that is how you install CentOS.